So this is just a quick video that I wanted to make. And I know this video is probably like 2 weeks late because I had no plans of actually making a video like this. But I had to mention my top movies of 2020. So number one is The 24th, about a group of black men who are in the army and they're being mistreated by the white residents, and they decide to take justice into their own hands. I loved this movie, and it's really sad that this didn't get a lot of traction, especially within the black community. My second favorite movie was Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, about a group of musicians dealing with the current racial tensions. So many great performances in this. This is not an action packed movie, it's really all about the dialogue and the acting. And the major reason why I really enjoyed this was because it was an honest look at white racism. My third favorite movie of 2020 is The 40-Year-Old Version. Now, this movie might speak to people more if they're trying to get into the entertainment industry and they're trying to climb up that ladder, which is me personally. And it also makes fun of racial tropes that you see in a lot of racially focused movies. It was surprisingly funny and I really enjoyed it. My fourth favorite movie was The Assistant. Now, this movie actually gets a lot of hate from a lot of people that watched it because they thought it was going to be action packed. They were complaining about it being boring and uneventful. I personally enjoyed it. Sometimes you can feel the tension in a room even when nothing is really physically happening, and Julia Garner gives a great performance, and I'm surprised more people aren't talking about it. It's basically the day in the life of an assistant working in a production company, and she's basically at the bottom of the barrel in the industry, and so people mistreat her or overlook her, and that's what I really loved about it. It's another movie where someone is trying to get their foot through the door in the industry but has to deal with a lot of shit. My fifth favorite movie of 2020 is The Dark End of the Street. This is another movie that flew under the radar. I have not seen anyone else talk about this movie, but I really enjoyed it. I mentioned in my review that you'll most likely enjoy it if you like Larry Clark movies, if you are patient with a movie and you like slow, quiet movies that don't depend on action and blood and guts and all that. Even though there's not a lot of action in this movie, it was very disturbing and artsy in my opinion. My sixth favorite movie of 2020 is Unhinged. I love this movie for the simple fact that I feel like this is something that I can kind of relate to. I also loved the fact that it's not PC and it's very violent. That's what I really loved about it, is that it didn't hold back on what it wanted to do. And it was very extreme, it was violent, Russell Crowe is absolutely insane in this movie, and I just loved it for that. I also thought it was very thrilling. I loved the car chase scenes in that. My eighth favorite movie is Alone. This is another movie that flew under the radar. It's kind of a hard movie to find for the simple fact that it's a very generic title. This is the type of movie that you should watch without watching the trailer or really knowing what it's about. I think that's the only way you're going to get the most out of this, because the trailer spoils it. The less you know about this movie, the better, and just go in and experience it yourself. And I have one last movie that didn't technically come out in 2020. It came out in 2019, but I saw it in 2020, and I have to mention it because I really love this movie, and it's I See You. This was a very unique plot, and again, it's one of those movies where the less you know going in, the better. And thankfully, I didn't really know anything about this before going in, and I think that's the only way you'll get any enjoyment out of this, is to not know anything and just to see it with fresh eyes. It's a really good movie. It's a really unique plot. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, those are my top 8 picks of 2020. Thank you for watching.